statement because what is happening in the case is no longer normal. It's very abnormal because the cardinal and the primary responsibility of any government is to protect human life and the property. A responsibility which the Kenya government is kind of abdicating as of now because for almost 1 month we are witnessing chaos, total chaos in Kisii town. Even in the entire county, people are not able to transact their normal businesses because of one individual who is having the support of the Kenya government. We are making an appeal and coming up with a very detailed statement, a statement which will go to the head of state of this country, the permanent secretary, internal security, to the cabinet secretary, Fred Matiang'i, who is actually protecting this particular individual who is perpetuating the kind of chaos and insecurity we are witnessing in the case. So one of us, Julius Gamba, will take you through the statement where we have said if the Kenya government will not be able to come in, even the ICC, we are making an appeal for how to come in and protect people in this part of the country. Thank you.
On behalf of the team, this is the statement on the ethnic profiling and attacks on officials of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. So to the members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today, first as Kenyans, who have both enjoyed peace and experienced election-related violence in this country. We therefore understand both the good side of having a peaceful election and the worst extreme of experiencing violence during an election. In the recent past, as the momentum for this year's general elections continues to grow, we have experienced a weird form of violence and restlessness in Kisii County, something that is completely strange to a county that has always enjoyed so much peace. Before we proceed, we wish to note that Kisii County has always enjoyed peace. Even in 2007, when the country was burning and Gusii people who were living in other parts of the country lost their lives and properties, the Gusii people remained peaceful and accommodated other tribes who are living in Kisii. In fact, the population in Kisii ballooned following the 2007 post-election violence, since investors and business people from across the country enjoyed peace in the Kisii town. Unfortunately, the county is slowly losing on that peace that the residents have always enjoyed, following the introduction of goonism and acts of violence by a well-known gubernatorial aspirant who is also enjoying backing and support of the cabinet secretary in charge of Interior, Dr. Fred Matiang'i. The said gubernatorial aspirant, Mr. Paul Simbarati, who we are no longer afraid to call out by name, has been intimidating other seasoned leaders in the county in political meetings and rallies in the media and on social media. Severally, he has caused chaos in public rallies where innocent residents have been hurt, and yet no action has been taken against him despite various reports being given to the police stations. This is largely because, as we have mentioned, the aspirant enjoys so much support from Dr. Fred Matiang'i. While his wars and fights have in the past been directed to fellow politicians, and probably because of the backing he enjoys, the aspirant has now turned his wars to the doorstep of the IEBC. Using his popular goons, he has been holding demonstrations against IEBC officials who are non-locals and some of whom have been working in Kisii for several years now. Today, he sent his goons to disrupt a meeting of the IEBC officials, which was being conducted at the Farmers Resource Center, popularly known as ATC. Police officers who came into action to assist or restore peace were badly injured and property destroyed. We condemn this incident and several others in the strongest terms possible and ask the national government to take early action and ensure the perpetrators are brought to book. We cannot afford to continue disadvantaging innocent Kenyans at the expense of a single individual. Every Kenyan public servant has a right to work in any part of this country, and ethnic profiling is a crime against humanity. This is how the 2007 post-election violence started, and as a country, we are not ready to experience another episode of such violence. Despite the demonstrations and cat and mouse games between Arati's goons being aired on national television, no action has been taken against the said aspirant because he's a close friend and a mouthpiece of the Interior Cabinet Secretary who sits on the security instruments. Recently, when a tear gas canister was exploded at a function that was being attended by the Azimio designate deputy president, fingers were pointed at innocent leaders while the culprit was well known. This is one more several incidents where the aspirant has been protected by the security agencies under the instructions of Dr. Fred Matiang'i, who has also publicly intimidated other leaders who seem not to be agreeing with the kind of politics being played by his favorite gubernatorial candidate, Mr. Arati. While the security systems in Kenya and other independent entities like the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, continue being intimidated by the CS Interior into supporting, backing, and concealing the evil acts of Mr. Arati, we wish to call on the International Criminal Court to keep an eye on the violence being propagated by Mr. Simba Arati, together with Dr. Matiang'i, or with the backing of Dr. Matiang'i, especially since the ethnic profiling of the IBC officials is a crime against humanity. The ICC should at the same time rob the Kenyan government to stop the CS Interior from using the security system to protect an individual, given the dangers that await the people of Kisii from such impunity. As we have said, this is the same way the 2007 post-election violence was fueled, eventually leading to bloodshed and loss of lives. There's a lot of animosity from Mr. Arati's team towards other residents of the county who are not supporting him, and if he's not tamed and action taken against him, the county might experience serious inter-clan wars as the elections near. Several residents who are vocally supporting other candidates have received verbal threats, even from the CS Interior, intimidating and threatening them. This kind of intimidation is not a new tact to the CS because it has been used before, a case in point during the Bonchari parliamentary by-election when the sitting governor of Kisii County was attacked in his house by the security teams. As we call on the ICC to take up this matter, we call on His Excellency the President of Kenya, Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta, to intervene and ensure that the security agencies do not get misused by an individual out to settle scores with people who do not agree with him politically. Once again, we condemn in the strongest terms possible this kind of politics being introduced in Kisii. We also ask Dr. Matiang'i to desist from protecting a public criminal in the name of a friend and or preferred candidate at the expense of the Kisii residents. The Kisii people are keenly watching, and the CS will be held responsible together with Mr. Arati if people lose their lives in election-related violence that the team is fearing. We thank you. Signed by the three of us. Thank you very much.
Let me associate myself. Let me associate myself with the sentiments expressed in this statement. Indeed, I am one of the signatories, and I therefore take responsibility together with my colleague, Honorable Machogi, and my brother here, Honorable Migos. We condemn in the strongest terms possible the violence that is being orchestrated on innocent cases, on innocent Kalenjians, on innocent people, officials of IPC who are just doing their jobs. It's unfortunate that this man is enjoying unheralded protection. Nobody has enjoyed this kind of protection in Kisii, and I think your guess is as good as mine as who is providing this protection. We condemn this incident in the strongest terms possible, and we urge the national government, more particularly the president, now that the CS Interior is involved. So we must now urge the president to act if he doesn't want Kisii as a community to repair and repair completely. Thank you.